Gets away cleanly from Ongaro. In fact, it's Boots who's actually, no, Ongaro and Boots have gone through together. The four have gone through 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 5 and 6. They've gone through in order. And they're coming down the hill for the first time and into the sharp left. Now, at this point, the absolute key thing is not to make any mistakes. Because if you make a mistake, you're going to fall to the back of the grid. And already, run a fact, just gapping slightly Ongaro. His cars will almost certainly be on different tyres to last the hour than they were for 20 minutes. There's lots of fuel strategies to talk about. We don't know who's going to do what. And they plunge down to the ARG for the first time. It's all going in grid order at the front of the race. Ronefalk turns first. It's 1, from 2, from 3, from 4, from 5, from 6, from 7, from 8, from 11. So actually moving up a pair. The only person is how Figueroa has moved 3 places. And they are keeping themselves going. The first 3 slightly breaking away. They're all together to go through the S-Works S for the second time, and now turning back down onto the roller coaster, the first part, the second part, and then the third part that's tricky, only because you have to get the landing right so you can turn left, and whoa! Ronefalk got it completely wrong. May have got lifted up by the wind. He drops a second, and the lead goes from Ongaro. Ronefalk there is now having a battle with Battle, which is always difficult to say, but it's Ongaro who's leading after that kind of open-air win situation took Ronefalk out of the lead, and now he's having a bit of a scrapette with current European Championship Robert Battle. It's the world champion, the European champion, and a nice little lead as they come to end lap 2 for David Ongaro. But the effect of all that is Boots managed to bridge the gap again. So we now have 4, 5, and also Renault Savoia. I said it's looked good the whole time. Top 6 now together. In fact, Canas has actually managed to take advantage of Boots being slightly checked up by Robert Battle to go into 4. So it's Ongaro. Behind him is Ronefalk. Behind him is Robert Battle. That's Juan Carlos Canas, Elliott Boots, and Renault Savoia. And then a slight gap to Martin Valanca before Barufalo comes through behind them. And Canas, a bit of an oversteer moment, which only really kind of solved it. Oh, and off then, this time off goes Ongaro. So into the lead, possibly. Yes, he does. He keeps it. Goes Ronefalk. Ronefalk takes the lead exactly the same place we lost the previous lap. Little kiss up the backside there from Battle on Ongaro. But we now have another change for lead in lap 2, but they are all hopping along. Boots has dropped off a little bit off the back of Canas. I'm not sure he was that keen on being that close to him. It's a very, very long race. And in very long races, you always kind of think that Robert Bataille could be the wily old fox. End of the race, end of the lap. And again, this time round it's Ronefalk. Behind him, Ongaro. Behind them, in the same order as it's been, Valanca. There's no real breaking away. It's a kind of a procession of cars, all much more evenly matched. Those are sort of semi-finals for the top 3, who were these first 3 drivers, break away from the field. But Canas and Boots and Savoia, who are in the second semi-final, are all staying with them. In fairness, Valanca, he's only a second or so back. You can see all the times, all the gaps are on the right-hand side. If you want to follow a particular driver, look for their first 3 letters. So if you're a Bataille fan, it's BAT. Now, at this point, there's a tiny gap is appearing between Ongaro and... Battle spun right off the track. So that's a real... The first person to have a big mistake is Battle. He's spun off the track. He got brought back on again, but he's dropped down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th place. And lets the other 2 get away. Canas is still in 3rd now. Boots in 4th. Savoia in 5th. The first 2 is your world champion leading, David Ronefalk from Sweden with the HP. And behind him, it is your reigning champion of Neo, David Ongaro. Now behind them, Canas has made a mistake as well. So now clear in 3rd is Boots and clear in 4th is Savoia. Then it's Valanca and then it's Barufalo. So both Battle and Canas, the 2 Spaniards, have made mistakes and they've dropped back. But these 2 are in a way. It's a bit of a risk there from Ronefalk as he came into the start of the drop down to the absolute hobbies are. They come around to the end of the lap. No need to worry about times. They're together. But interesting to see how far back. In fact, there's Boots made a mistake now. And the 3rd has gone Savoia. Savoia, Valanca, Barufalo. So in that lap, 3 people in front of Savoia disappeared, and suddenly he's gone from 6th to 3rd, but there is now a very, very large distance of 5 seconds between 2nd and 3rd. So it is already now, not necessarily through pace, but just through other people's mistakes, Away have gone Ongaro and Ronefalk, who when we arrived here were favourites and have remained favourites throughout this event. Two very good performances, I think, from drivers outside this have been Savoia and Buffalo, and they're currently in third and fourth, and slightly off pace, I felt, and I said to himself, to Boots, he can still come back, and unfortunately Battles just made a mistake and knocked himself right down, which is not particularly good. Currently in 8th, 9 seconds off the lead. So another lap round, and absolutely no real gain between the two of these. The battle is completely on, and we are now into the 6th minute, and so far they swapped twice in lap 2 and lap 3, but since then they've been together. If I was a betting man, I'd say that Ronefalk was a few hundredths of a second further forward than he was last lap, but I don't think it's anything more than the smallest the bobble would remove. Last lap round, actually, he was 200 seconds slower in the lap than Ongaro. So it's the young Italian gets as close as you can get. See, the point is you get as close as you can get without going round. He was effectively nudging the rear end of the HB there. Ronefalk, of course, as you get new to this from Sweden, he's in the yellow into green car, and in the mainly orange machine, not his normal colours actually, is Ongaro. So Ongaro's obviously knocked up a different body this time. Normally he's in a kind of a light, and just a little bit there, in a light sort of mauvey silver colour. Ongaro won last time at Harper Adams, and he won it with only a third of his wing. But with the amount of wind we've got here, I think having your aero sorted out is significantly more important than in a controlled environment of a repurposed cattle shed. Savoia lost no time that time. He's 5.6 back. Behind him is Valanka, and in fact his battle is recovering better than Boots. Boots is, what's he in 5th? I don't see him in 5th. I think he's dropped again. He may even have taken a fuel stop. I think Boots may have taken his first fuel stop. I might have missed that one at 7 minutes 30. He's dropped back down. So these two now will be thinking about fuel quite soon. I don't think anyone's going to try and run 10 minutes, which would be the advantageous for a 60-minute race. With 10 minutes, you don't need to stop 5 times. 9 minutes, you still is a 6-stopper, and that to me is probably what they're both going to try, unless they've got severe fuel issues, which on the whole would mean they're coming a bit early. Now, will they come in this time? And the answer is no and yes. So Ongaro comes in. We'll stay with Ongaro through his pit stop, and then we'll see where he comes out, because I think Ronefalk will stop next time. Now, if Ronefalk's got a fuel advantage, Ronefalk has come out in traffic, is right by Savoia, but he's not taking any prisoners, and he kind of muscles his way out, going through the S-Works S. So Savoia is still in third. Ronefalk, Ongaro, as you can see, has dropped down to match him. About 6 seconds was the difference, and that is obviously what they're doing their pit stops in. So, now, does Ronefalk have a pit stop advantage? Can he do one less stop? Both of you, we're looking at Ongaro, who's over on the paving slabs at the moment. Because what will happen is that Ronefalk will go in the pits, hopefully this time, we'll see where they come out. So Ongaro coming up and over in second place when he went into pit stops, right on the tail of Ronefalk. Ronefalk a little bit ponderous around the corner, moving away from the bottom of the track. Will he come in this time? There's a wave, there's a grab. So Ronefalk comes in, and I think he's gained in this sequence. We'll see now. Ronefalk is released, and we know it's a very fast exit. They're coming up, and Ronefalk comes out, and there is a gain of about 3 yards. So the first two are back together again. Now Savoia, interestingly, is still with him, and Savoia hasn't stopped, and we're at 9 minutes. Now, is Savoia going to go 10, which will save him a stop? So that stop effectively is in hand now, because he obviously is behind them, and they've both made a stop. Boots is in 4th, 12 back. Now, those of you, this lap, in fact, it's interesting. Ronefalk's managed to just gap Ongaro a little bit in this lap. So let's just move forward to Ronefalk. Take it with the leader. To Ronefalk with the leader. In the orange and the green. Came round there 1.2 seconds ahead. Most of that made up in this lap as they got used to things again. Now, just in case you're thinking, well, hang on, Savoia's a long way behind as he comes in for fuel. Does he come in for fuel? Yes, Savoia comes into fuel at 9 minutes. You think, oh, well, Savoia's a long way behind, and also a long way behind is... and also a long way behind is Boots, the fact is that in the European Championships here, 18 months ago, Boots was a long way behind Ronnefalk and Battle, and they both broke down within 30 seconds of each other. So nothing is a given, especially in an hour-long final, and we are 10 minutes down, so 1/6 has gone. And at the moment, Ronnefalk, as you can see in the you'll see Ongaro in the background, but he's just now in his second phase, beginning to stretch his legs slightly. Ongaro this time back is 1.7, so he's lost another half a second. So at the moment, it's advantage Ronnefalk. It's nip and tuck to begin with, but Ronnefalk now holding a slight advantage. You can see Ongaro on camera at the moment as he attempts to catch up. Realistically, he's now falling back at a slow pace. Barufalo has picked up third from Vawanka and Savoia, so that's now got to be a bit of a scrap for third. Boots down in 6th, Battle down in 8th. So the two who thought they had a chance really are fading dramatically. And Ronnefalk currently is making hay while the sun shines at the front. There's a question about how fast you can go without wearing your tyres out. Several different manufacturers' tyres out there. J Concepts tyres on the leader. I don't actually know. To the top of my head, I can't remember. But obviously we have people who have AKAs. They'll have Pro Lines. We have hot race tyres. There's a massive range of tyres running there. That time around, it was 3/10 of a gain. I think, was it 3/10? Yeah, 2/10 of a gain for Ronnefalk. So Ronnefalk's managed to keep this thing all 4 wheels down since lap 2. In fairness to Ongaro, he's kept all wheels down since lap 3. But just a little bit of extra pace in the HB of the Swede at the moment. Now, where there is a battle, which we're probably going to shift back to. So guys, can you go to the end of the patio now and pick up the next battle, which is the battle for third between Vawanka and Barufalo, and then catching up quickly is for 4 cars together. So the cars, so it's a white car of Vawanka, the blue and red car of Barufalo, the orange car of Savoia, and the red car of Boots are all battling over third place. Vawanka holds it at the moment. The Austrian with the S-Works, he's leading the Italian in the X-Ray. And the X-Ray, and then Boots got through both of them, and Barufalo has danced himself into a disaster there and fallen off the track. And off camera, I think we've had a crash for Ongaro. Ongaro has made a mistake and crashed, so he's falling well back. So this has been a very good central phase for Ronnefalk. He's now going to have a 5 or 6 second lead. In third place, it's Vawanka, the Austrian. Fourth place, it's Boots, looking to try and recover from just not really being on it. But it's an hour-long race, and tyre wear is definitely going to come into play towards the third quarter. Third perhaps. So Vawanka doing an excellent job with the new S-Works. Obviously, we're running for X-Ray until the end of the year. We're looking at Savoia. We move forward 1 to Boots, the orange car, in 4th place, looking to try and catch up with Vawanka. Gap now to the lead is 7 seconds, and that was entirely due to Ongaro having a big accident at the end of the roller coaster. Boots comes into fuel again, so he's coming in more regular than everyone else. Boots always has had quite a thirsty car. Likes to outreach, likes to be able to throttle jam it a bit in a way, so he is effectively down a bit. So you can move forward to Savoia, the orange car, in 4th place, just at the Agama hairpin now. Keeping an eye on everyone else. The lead is 7.2 seconds. Ronnefalk to Ongaro after 15 minutes and 15 laps. Vawanka, a surprising third, but a very solid third and a very well-deserved third at the moment. We've got Savoia, who's powered by Pizza Pilli. Recommend that if you're around this area. Excellent pizza to be had. If you're a glutton, you go for the familiar. If you're an ordinary person, you go for the medium. And I do believe that 3 people who've gone for the familiar are James, Matt and Ash. Think of that as you will. So Savoia, can you move forward to Savoia, please? The orange car coming through the S-Works, please. So we're with Savoia in 4th place. Hopefully both on that now. Red's engines are thirsty, is what they're saying, and they are. And on the whole, they are a little bit thirsty. They have powered Elliott to 2 European Championships, so there's obviously an advantage in their thirst. It's a bit of power. Effectively, you end up doing one more stop, so it's, you're losing 6 to 7 seconds. The lead for Ronnefalk, as he has already crossed for his 16th lap, is now 6.7 seconds, so he's lost a second. So a little bit of a gain there in the last couple of laps by Ongaro. 2/10 that time. I'm not quite sure how much people can pace themselves. Behind Savoia, it's now Oscar Baldo in 5th and Battle in 6th. Boots down in 7th. That dropped mainly because he's taking his extra stop. And I think at this point, with a stop there for Battle stopped and had a problem, as did Oscar Baldo, and Barufalo as well. So the cars now, some of the cars are suffering a little bit. And I think Boots has gone past Valanka because he's not stopped. Going long is Savoia. I think there's been another problem, I'm afraid, for our chaser, because I see him go past. It looks more like, it seems like quite a long way behind. And he has dropped 9 seconds, so another accident for Ongaro off camera. Let's drop back to the next battle, the white and the red. That's Valanka versus Boots. As they go around, Juan Carlos Canas has gone, so the Spaniard had a fantastic Friday. He's dropped off 3 laps. Juan Carlos Canas, brilliant Friday. Kind of gone wrong since then, apart from the junior final last night. So Juan Carlos Canas, he's back again, but he's not going to be playing in the big leagues this time. He's 3 laps off the lead. I think he is running, but he's 3 laps off as Boots battles with Valanka for 4th place. Savoia, whose long fuel run is beginning to pay off. And Boots looks up the Valanka. They're going down the roller coaster, the 3rd point. Can he fly him now? Boots looking quite circumspect. I think the wind is causing problems. Now he's up the inside now, and he can outbrake him. No, beautiful run by Valanka. They closed the door in a fabulous way there. So Valanka, very good driving, just came across. Very fair, but he's got a massive tank slapper on. That's that Boots through. So Boots now picks back up into 4th place, not even the podium place, 4th place. But whilst this does all seem, very much done and dusted, you have to remember that the key point about all of this is that the tyres will wear out and things will change. Now Ongaro, according to the clock, is 0.7 of a second behind, which means I can only believe he's now running a different fuel strategy. And let's pick up the leaders for a second. Right at the bottom of the circuit, about to go over the Agama corner. Ronnefalk and Ongaro right together, but I think it's because Ronnefalk's dropped in for fuel before Ongaro, which is surprising because actually first time round Ongaro dropped in after. So I don't know if Ronnefalk's made an exactly 7-second mistake somewhere. It seems unlikely. You would think it would be fuel, but they are together again now. As we enter, we're just turning the 19th minute of 60. But my guess is you'll see that Ongaro will come in, but interesting fuel strategy he's running. He's running a bit longer. They must have checked the fuel tank, gone, right, you've got a couple more laps. So, will he be coming in this time? No, he won't. Okay, well, perhaps Ronnefalk did make a mistake of 7 seconds somewhere. A convenient exact pit stop length mistake. So, it's Ronnefalk from Ongaro. So it's back on again. And Ronnefalk had a bit of an oversteer moment, and suddenly he kind of almost in avoiding the hitting Ronnefalk, Ongaro lost more time. It's one of those kind of unexpected consequences of someone else's mistake. And the worst thing in radio controlled car racing is hitting someone else's accident. If it's your accident, it's fair enough. If it's even your accident caused by somebody else because you're racing, it's fair enough. But when someone else has an accident and you're still hit them, that's exceptionally annoying. Now, interestingly, Ongaro, who got so close, is now dropping back quite quick. Oh, no, he was dropping back until Ronnefalk made that mistake. So Ronnefalk managed to be faster during the lap, but then just went off the side of the track. In pure ground speed, you'd say Ronnefalk's got it at the moment, but it's an interesting balance the whole time to stay on the track. I'm not sure if Ongaro might be driving within himself. He's trying to protect the car, protect the tyres. Ronnefalk leading in the HB. That's the yellow into green car, and the orange machine, that of course is, well, not of course, because it's different colours than usual, and that is, now Ongaro's made a mistake, a nasty mistake. I don't think Ongaro's car is completely underneath it at the moment, if I'm honest. I think it's evolved in a way he doesn't like, and we've lost another car. I think Burak Kilic has gone, I'm afraid. No suspension failure from the distance I was looking at. So Ronefalk now gets back in the lead again by 5 or 6 seconds. Looks like Marco Barufalo's coming back through the field again. Boots is in third because Savoya's stopped for fuel. I can't actually see him in third. I think he's now dropped back down again. I think he's actually now dropped down to 5th or 6th. So there is a massive amount of action going on in the 4th, 5th and 6th. Let's drop back to the 3 cars coming onto the patio now. Or 2 cars, because one of them's crashed. I think it's Boots who crashed. Because that is Robert Bataille and Marco Barufalo, who are trying to chase down Savoia for third. So we've got Bataille there in camera. The gap to the lead is 4.4 seconds first and second. And they're then back another 14 seconds to Savoia. And then Battle, who you'll just see Savoia popping out the corner there. As Battle in the orange car now, running right down the roller coaster. Beats the top left in the bottom left-hand corner. Still trying to get hold of Savoia. Savoia just looking particularly good at the moment. He's very consistent. He's not got the ultimate pace, but he's got every single lap pretty damn fine. And it's causing problems for the king of consistency, Robert Bataille, to pick up. Ronefalk looking particularly good, but he's, there's a long way to go. We're not even anywhere near halfway yet, but we're only just over a third way. 22 minutes down, almost 38 and a bit to go. The lead still at 4.3 seconds overall. But I'm not sure what happened there. I think Ronefalk's had a problem. Ronefalk has had a problem. Ronefalk has dropped out at that point. He's now coming back in again. So I don't know what happened there. Ronefalk was off the track for a second. He's rejoined. The lead is now with Ongaro. I could see Adrien Bertin walking back from the pits. I've no idea what happened there. We didn't have that. He just kind of fell off the track whilst leading by 4 seconds. Let's pick up Ronefalk. He's about to come onto the paving section now, coming towards us. Ronefalk was off the track. Now, I'll tell you now that Ongaro has taken the lead. What has happened to Ronefalk? Ronefalk just came off the track and is not happy about something. Ronefalk's got a problem. Ronefalk looks like a clutch problem or a gearbox problem. Ronefalk's gone. Ronefalk has gone again. It's a mechanical that's taken Dave Ronefalk out of this Neo Championship when it was his to lose. And it has lost it. So I'm afraid the Swede has had a mechanical issue with his HB or his Orion power. And we saw a lap ago. Let's keep with the car that's being brought back. And we'll pick up another car altogether. Let's get the whole story as back comes Ronefalk. Looks like it's it. We didn't see what caused the initial problem. But another car disappears. And this now means there's a 14-second lead for Ongaro. And what we will now do is try and pick up Ongaro. So where is he at the moment, little tinker? Okay, it's about to come over start-finish. Ongaro, the car number 2. The orange car, Blackwing, part start-finish now. So he has inherited, after a mystery problem for Ronefalk, the lead. Into pit this time does come Ongaro. So Ongaro stops. And there he goes. But he's still going to be long. So he had a 14-second lead, which he has to look after. He has been faster than everyone else. Second now is Bataille. Third is Savoia. But that's very bad luck for Ronefalk. He's gone. And I don't think he lost his servo. He just seemed, to me, it seemed like a drive issue, like he had an issue with the clutch or something, because he was the engine was still running, but he wasn't moving. So as Ongaro comes up and turns, just to give you an idea, the second place, which is Robert Bataille, is 16 seconds back. So as he's coming to complete a lap, Bataille is just about hopping up onto the... I think Savoia actually is taking second place this time. Savoia is now back in second. I think Bataille took a fuel last time round. So actually, you'll find that Savoia will be in second as we spin round. So that's second place for Savoia. You'll see him clicking in your numbers. And he is back by about 12 seconds after the pit stop. So his strategy is working well. Just do lots of laps consistently. But he's 12 seconds back. Bit of a battle with Boots. Battle is in third. Boots in fourth. Barufalo is in fifth. Verlanker is in sixth. And as we reach halfway, or 25 minutes, not quite halfway, we're with our leader, who is just coming up onto the patio section, over patio ripples, and dropping down the hill. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pick up second place, who's crossing over and coming back up on there. So the orange car coming onto the patio section now. It's Savoia in second, but he has breathing down his neck Robert Bataille, the Spaniard, European champion, just looking to go for it. There's also a battle behind them for fourth and fifth, which is Barufalo and Boots. But again, it's all looking good for Ongaro, but let's be honest, only about 5 minutes ago, it was all looking good for Ronefeld. As the wind blows more heavily, makes it more difficult for the cars to be flown properly. Both on the orange car. So battle getting a bit closer as they come out through the S-Works S. Sun beginning to pour into our area, making it slightly more difficult to do that. And this is the battle for second place. And certainly, Battle or Bataille is getting closer all the time to Ronefeld. Boots not so. To Ronefeld, to Savoia. So remember, out in the lead by 12 seconds, in fact more than that now I would say, is Ongaro. Second place is Renaud Savoia, the Frenchman, triple European champion. I think it was in 9, 10 and 11. Might be 8, 9 and 10, don't quote me on that. And then the current reigning European champion, Robert Bataille, is behind him in third. And the lead is actually out to 13.5. But look, suddenly Bataille's got himself right up the backside of Savoia. And now we'll be looking to get through. So we're on a very different fuel strategy. So I'm not sure how hard he's going to fight Battle. But Battle now looking to get into second. Oh, got the inside nicely there. And he's going to just can he do a three-corner pass? Check pass, no. Blocked nicely again by Savoia. But Battle want to get moving on. He want to try and get himself to get some clean air to start attacking that massive lead of David Ongaro, the young Italian who's looking to go for back-to-back Neo titles. Something that Adam Drake has done, something Jared Thibault has done. Even Jared Thibault, actually. I get in trouble for saying Jared, don't I? Jared Thibault. So you have only Americans of back-to-back. So will the first European back-to-back be Ongaro? They are dropping down. Now, interesting that what's happening here, obviously, is the longer Savoia keeps Battle behind him, the better it is for Ongaro. They'll cross around and they come back towards us, the two of them fighting hard. The car behind is a lap behind, and it's Boots who's actually in fourth, but he's not making impression. In for fuel comes Savoia. He's on a completely different fuel strategy to everyone else. Well, apart actually from Boots, who appears to be taking fuel every 2 minutes, but cars now separated again, and we're with Robert Bataille as he tries to make up a deficit of 14.8 seconds. And chat says Battle's doing his normal thing. Once he's past Savoia, we'll track down Ongaro. Yeah, but it's not easy to track down 14 seconds about the man who was the fastest person in the field during qualifying. But this is an hour-long final. Whilst the cars, the engines can take it, the one element that isn't so happy about doing an hour are the tyres. And whilst you've got lots of lovely little mini pins digging into the track surface at the start, you will, unless you have the right compound and the right design, just have some big slippity slicks by the end. Going down from the back of the track. Up the road goes Robert Bataille. That time round, he gained about 0.7 of a second on Ongaro. But Ongaro mired in traffic at the moment. As he bounced past, he actually passed two cars in that last lap, so that might explain that. Robert looking quite swish. Elliott Boots is now down in, he's in fourth. He's behind Savoia still, 25 seconds off. Oh. So let's see what the lead is this time around. More clear air for Ongaro that time. It goes to 13.4. So Battle actually gained 0.6 of a second, a 56.6. That was the best lap of, no, it was the second best lap of his. Best time we have from anybody is a 56.2. Now these are all 2 seconds to 2.5 seconds slower than we saw on Friday. So you can see how the track's just got very, very slick after the rain on Friday afternoon. So let's see what's going to happen. This is the great thing about the long finals. It can get tactical. I'll tell you in a second that we've got 18 seconds till we hit halfway. That's how much more we've got to go. It's an hour final rather than the usual 45 minutes, and there is so much more tactics to be had. This is a real endurance race, multiple stop, multiple concepts, different fuel strategies. But the real thing is, as Battle goes past again, this time he is 13.1 behind, so he's picked up another 0.3 of a second. It's a very, very slow gain. And I'm really honest that Robert's going to need a couple of bits of help, like an accident from Ongaro, if he's going to get anywhere near him with the amount of time he's got. He really needs to gain about 2/3 of a second a lap to give himself a bit of a chance to fight towards the end. But if anyone can do it, Robert Battle can. If anyone can be a wily old fox at the back end of an hour final, the man we've christened in a very warm way as the Spanish cat weasel could be the one who could do it. So let's get a bit of a comparison to what Ongaro is. If we go to our leader, Ash, and Zach, he's just coming onto the mid-stage patio now and coming off it. This is Ongaro, our leader. 32 laps down. Any second now, Bataille will go over the start-finish. In fact, this is a convenient time to do it. He's going to come in for a stop. Let's see what happens. A very clean stop. Don't crash on the exit. And this obviously will make it much closer. We've got another 12.3 that time, so another 7 or 8 tenths were gained by Battle. The Battle is reeling him in, but it's a very difficult job when you're a long way behind. And in fact, Battle went in for fuel as well that time, so they both fueled up. It's worked out less well for Robert because he's come out behind Jorn Neumann again. But they've both retained first and second. I think Savoy was 9 back, so they both stopped on the same lap. We're both on the same tactics here. They're both on the same stoppage. The young Italian and the slightly more veteran, certainly not old, Spaniard. I think Battle just relishes the idea of a nice long final with a nice load of tactics. It's just what he wants to do. So anyway, across the line has gone Ongaro. I'm not sure what the lead will be, as a very polite car 12 let him through. And so after a set of stops, the lead is now 10. Whoa, so that was a nearly 2-second gain during the pit stop sequence. So great work by Robert's pit crew. So Ongaro is now to keep pushing because he's got an absolute legend of a gain. So we've seen 4 seconds of gain. It's taken him 5 minutes to do it, but he's got another 25 to do it. He doesn't. So at this rate, he's just made a couple of mistakes which is going to ruin this lap. He's got a chance. So Ongaro, everyone else is quite well spread out. Savoy is 6 seconds behind Battle. Boots is now 4 seconds behind that, but 12 seconds ahead of Barufalo. So at the moment, it's all in that tactical phase of the middle of a race. This race is an hour. It's not 24 or 12, but it's all tactical. What can we do? I've got to turn the laps. I've got to turn the wheel, make the car work. Now, this time, I was pretty certain that Ongaro has actually gained on Robert because Robert had a couple of wobbly moments coming through the dip earlier, and he crosses the line now. And the gap has gone to 11.6. Yep, he lost about, he lost a whole second actually. I didn't think it was that bad. But, yep, so he's now going to have to fight back on that gap. So ending a run of about 10 laps where he was gaining on the whole time. Ongaro's got the hurry up. Don't forget these guys have got headsets. They can be, and the teams are looking at their the times as well as we are, so that he will know what's going to happen. He knows that Battle was pushing him, so he knows he has to just up his game slightly. And he does that now as he goes through the ARG, leading quite convincingly at the moment on the AKA tyres. Hot race tyres for Battle, and it is a battle of tyres as well as drivers. Another good lap, I think, by Ongaro here. 57.5, pretty much a par for the course lap. Whereas Battle's just under 57.3, so 2 tenths. That's not really enough to make a big difference. But it's going in the right direction for Robert. And you've just got to put yourself in contention. You've got to put yourself into contention. So if Ongaro makes a single mistake, and he's made a small mistake there. That's a relatively cheap mistake. Won't cost him too much. He put him out of line. So that's going to cost him probably about 3/4 of a second this lap. As he comes off, if he'd gone off and lost a bit more, it'd be much worse. So settle myself down. Yeah, I've made a small mistake. It's not a problem. Still got plenty of cushion. I've done these finals before. I'm the Neo champion. I'm fine. Settle it down. Just do what you were doing before. Cross the line. And that time was a 58.2. So yeah, so he did lose about 3/4 of a second with that slight off-track moment coming through the roller coaster. Battle goes round again. Battle's a 57.3, so he gets a 9/10 gain. And the gap comes down to 10.3, but still, that's a good gap. It's a good gap, 10.3. It's more than a mistake. It's more than an error. And obviously, if Battle makes a mistake, it's pretty much game over. 24 minutes to go. Still Savoia in third, Boots in fourth, Barufalo in fifth. That's what you don't tend to want, is someone marshaled right in front of you, and that's what happened to him. And the car that was marshaled in front of him was I think it's a 5 machine that was, can't see. Oh, one Carlos Canassis back out again. He's 3 laps down. So Canassis 3 laps down is it's just having a nightmare. Now he's slightly taking the focus off Ongaro. The Ongaro did 57.1. That was a really good lap, so he wasn't taking the focus at all. He's obviously targeting him. So I think he'll probably gain this time. As Battle doesn't. No, he doesn't, because Robert Battle's on a 56.0, so he's gained a second. Wow. Ongaro's reined it back and certainly pushing hard. So Ongaro still have 23 minutes to go. This is a 45-minute race. You kind of said it was pretty much done and dusted for Ongaro, because you could take these relaxing moments. Problem is, it's an hour race. You've got an extra 15 minutes of bald tyres and hoping for the best. As they drop down into the ARG again. Another consistent lap. The gap was 9.33 seconds last time around. This time around, it looked like a good lap to me from Ongaro. 56.7 it was. It was a good lap. So it's going to be another good lap from Robert to even gain at all. And my feeling is he may have lost a tiny amount that time round. His time was a 57.1. He did, lost 4/10. So the point about it is Ongaro can still turn those laps, which are good enough. And that's a great bit. You see, that was just absolutely perfect for the S-Works then. As he trundles along. Behind him, we still have Savoia in third, and we still have Boots in fourth, but they're falling away from these two. It's coming up the rise is Ongaro. So what we're going to do, when Ongaro crosses the line now, we'll wait. When he crosses the line, we'll wait, and we'll pick up Robert for the next few laps, see how he's going to catch up. So just wait there at the start-finish line. That lap was a 56.1, a cracking lap in fact. So Ongaro is just putting the pedal down a bit. And now we pick up the number 3, this car now, the orange car, that is Battle. And Battle's lap was a 56.8. So it's all ebbing back towards Ongaro. Ongaro's appears to have just about enough in hand that he can keep the gap at around 10 seconds. Now, the question obviously is that Battle has an issue really that he has to keep the car 4 wheels down. Ongaro has an issue that he just wants to not get gained in too much. But another mistake for Battle would kind of end it, because he's now running out of time. We still have a third of the race. There's 21 minutes 47 seconds to go. But Ongaro looking pretty good at the moment. The tie. Turning laps, hoping for a miracle really at the moment. He just needs a little bit of help. He needs a little bit of help from someone. 56.4 that time round for Ongaro. Battle did a 56.3, so they're all together. So we're with Ongaro now. It's just about to get to the very bottom of the circuit with the yellow wheels. There he goes, and he's in for fuel. Is he? No, yeah, he's fuel. Ash swept the camera back, but he's actually in for fuel. So the fuel stop is made. I'm not sure whether that was the same lap or a different lap as Ongaro. It's now the wind picks up, and this is another challenge for the drivers. The wind blowing directly up the back straight where the are on the roller coaster section. So Robert, I'm not sure they both stopped at the same time. Whether Ongaro was a lap later, I can't really see. Where is Ongaro? There's Ongaro. So they did stop on the stop. They stopped on the same lap again. Ongaro's car looking very smoky now. So I think it's just because he's got a nice full tank of fuel. It's smoking like a good one, that one at the moment. So full fuel, unless that thing's beginning to go a bit rich, he might be going out of tune. I'm not sure. It's looked a bit smoky. Could just be there, so you've got a full tank. I'll keep an eye on that. And the leads come right down to 8 seconds. So again, through the pit stops, the Battle team is a couple of seconds faster than the Ongaro team. Can we pick up Ongaro? He's going down the main straight now. Now, I'm not an expert in 1/8 racing. That car seems to be running a bit rich at the moment. It's been puffing out a lot of smoke. Let's see if we can get a tight and look at the amount of smoke it's blowing out. So that car, I think, may be slipping slightly out of tune. That could be because it's getting slightly bogged down or getting the air filter in. So look at the amount of smoke he's putting out. He has been a little bit smokier than anyone else anyway during this, but now it's got a lot more noticeable, a lot more of the track. So a little bit more smoke normally will mean a bit less power. The smoke's good. It means the engine's well lubricated. It may mean it's actually running a bit rich. So perhaps they gave it a tweak. Perhaps they actually tweaked the engine deliberately to make it a bit richer. They realise now that they have the ability to run a bit more fuel because obviously they know the lap times they're running. And the lead now is 7.6, so it's getting closer. We've got 19 minutes to go. It's 7.6. Savoia is still in third. Boots is still in fourth. They're a long, long way off the back. Savoia, though, I think we're pretty chuffed he can get a podium at the end of the day. And the rich running, I wonder whether the reason that stop took a bit longer is because they have a little bit of tweak at the screw as well. Just gave him a little bit more rich in the mix up, a little bit more. There's a big puff of smoke. You see the car behind it, just nothing like the amount of smoke that was coming out of the engine there from our leader, David Ongaro. And goes across the line again. Only about 5 cars on the lead lap now as Ongaro gets to the bottom of the circuit. And now, past it again, the lead goes out to 7.9 seconds. So with Ongaro through the S-Works S, dropping down through the dip, and he's going to turn back up, and then he's going to attempt to run through the triple of the roller coaster section. It's all a little bit circumspect. You can see he's not going for it. He knows he's got the championship to fight for, and therefore you have to drive in a sensible form. Drop down the 3 hops, turn round, and up towards the patio section. Drop, turn. Line the car up straight so the ripples don't do anything to the car. Beautiful line there. Now he's got an issue there because the marshal managed to get out of the way. Just took his attention away slightly, but didn't lose any time. Managed to get to the inside of that. He now comes to complete another lap. So that lap will take him into 17.5 minutes to go, and that lap was a 56.8. It was a good lap. Is it as good a lap as Battle did? Robert crosses the line. We go a little bit delayed before we find he did a 56.4. No, it was 4/10 faster. But again, realistically, that's not enough. But we are now getting to the point where with a lead of 7.5 seconds, it's a one error lead. There is some traffic. There's 2 cars between Battle and Ongaro. Give Ongaro and Battle their due. Not wishing to tempt fate, but so far, as we've been watching them for the last 20 minutes, I've seen half a mistake between the pair of them. So there's some great driving going on. And they are, that's going to cost you a bit of time. You lose a bit of time because he's facing the wrong direction for a while. Now drops down. But every time you make a small mistake, what you have to do when you're leading, you have to forget about the mistake. The puff of smoke again from Ongaro's engine. So he's probably sacrificing a little bit of power and a little bit of economy he doesn't need, just to keep the thing running, keep it happy, keep it cool, avoid the chance of a flame. And that time around, despite that little squiggle, he was actually a couple of tenths quicker. And the lead stays at 7.5 seconds to 7.8 seconds. Battle gets through a couple more cars. They're coming down again. Drops down. Having a quick scan of the rest of the track now. There's only clear track between the 2 of them. But he's made a mistake. Made a little mistake there, just kind of overcooked it. But I don't think it's going to be a potentially dangerous one, because actually what happened was Battle wasn't having a great lap either. So Robert Bataille comes around. It's 57.7 there for Ongaro, 56.6. He gained 1 second, but he could have gained a lot more. But the lead comes down to 6.6. Don't forget, it was 14 seconds when we lost Ronnefalk. There is definitely an element, though, that Ongaro is driving within himself. He's driving to almost to a time to get to the end in the lead. Now, the other thing is notable, when he tends to make a mistake, you tend to get a really quick lap afterwards. He just unleashes the speed he has. Now, the interesting thing is, Ongaro is going to begin to be in the eyesight of Battle when he actually turns around some of the hairpins. 15 minutes to go. This would have been the end of the race in a normal Neo, but we've got another 15 minutes left. Another lap completed for Ongaro. That one round was a 56.7. As I said, he tends to put in a fast one after a mistake and then following quite closely behind a 56.6. So Battle and Ongaro are really close. Now, the other thing that's interesting, of course, is if Battle can make 2 seconds up on a pit stop as he has been doing, and in fact now they're going to come out together because there is Ongaro and Battle are together. In fact, Ongaro now takes the lead. Oh, Battle took the lead, but he lost it immediately because Ongaro came with fuel. So actually Battle's lost a couple of seconds there. He was actually basically in the lead for about a tenth of a second, and in trying to avoid having it coming together with Ongaro, he actually then lost momentum and spun it. Otherwise, so he's basically blown about 2 seconds there. And my guess is he'll be coming in for fuel next time. So let's be with Battle, please, just at the back of those two cars. It would have been, so it's the first mistake he's made, and oddly he made it trying to avoid his major rival. And he's not got a chance to do what he wanted to do, I'm sure, to put some pressure on the young Italian who's made his penultimate pit stop. And down they go. So my guess is Battle's going to go in. This is going to extend the lead out again to 7 or 8 seconds. And they're both now struggling a little bit of a grip on that section. And it's going to give a lot of confidence to Ongaro. As Battle pits in for fuel, he's going to need to have a very good fuel stop if he's not going to end up a long, long way behind. Off they go again. Out goes Battle. He needs to be clear that was a pivotal moment there because he's basically lost 2 seconds because he just thought he was going to have a coming together with Ongaro, even though it was Ongaro, and what happened was he spun it right round. So both these guys have one more pit stop, and visually I would say that it's about 6 seconds, so we are still much closer than we were as Ongaro carries on smoking like an old navvy, and there you can see the lead of Savory and Boots are nowhere near each other, so don't worry about that. Well, they are actually, they're very close. There's been Boots and Savory right together, but they're on different fuel strategies. So that one comes round, and the lead now is down to 4 seconds. That's the closest it's been. It's a 4-second gap. So we're going to stick with this, and there's traffic coming up. So in that last lap running round, Battle lost 3 seconds, only because the worry for Ongaro, to be honest, is actually about the fuel stops. And I think Ongaro now is nothing like 3 seconds ahead. And the wily old fox is absolutely chasing down the young man, and the two of them are going to be on the same stretch of tarmac in here. When you look forward, you look on this, as he exits the patio, Battle is on the patio, so this 14-second lead has been eroded. Nice bit of driving there by the other driver to let him through. That was Zanchetin, I think it might be. Perhaps not. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So Battle now comes around, and it is Battle drawn because he can see his target, and the lead drops down to 2.1. So whether we have a struggling engine or struggling for grip, the fact is that Robert is beginning to get closer and closer and closer and closer to his quarry, which is the young Italian. And no surprise to anyone this has happened, because if anyone can hunt someone down over 35 minutes, that man is world champion from 2012 and triple European and current reigning European champion Robert Bataille. But on the flip side, if anyone can put in some fantastic lap times to pull away again, it's our rising star of RC racing within Europe and the Neo 17 champion of David Ongaro. But I tell you what, Ongaro has lost more time this time, and it's not long before they're going to both be in the same frame. And at that point, it might even be that Battle might be able to get past during the pit stops. So Battle really, at this moment, even though he's behind, has a definite advantage. The lead has dropped down to 2.1 seconds, so it was just only a tenth either way. In fact, they were absolutely identical. So Ongaro once again is responding. He's lucky enough to have a car in between them. That's the 5 machine of Canas again who's got in between them. There is a lot of traffic. Despite the huge size of this track, there's still a lot of traffic around. There's 2 seconds. If you look ahead of the picture, which is Battle, you'll see, there he goes, that flash to the left-hand side is David Ongaro. They have to be perfect. And Ongaro now has got 2 cars ahead. Oh, that was lucky. 1 car rolled out the way. They probably asked him to stay out the side he does. So the lead is pretty similar to it was. They come down the pavement. You can now see both cars in the same shot. Ongaro goes through the arc, and there is Robert Bataille. They are right behind each other, and there's 10 minutes to go. And he's had an accident. Oh, and there goes into the lead. Goes and it's a big accident. And Robert Bataille takes the lead. Ongaro has been hunted. He has been caught. He has been overtaken. And it only took 33 minutes for one of the greatest racing drivers of any scale, of any form, to consistently batter his young opponent into making a mistake. But now it's undeniable. It is easier to chase than be chased, and suddenly it all changes around. The fox will be chased by the hound, and it is a chance for Ongaro to show us what he's got in these remaining 10 minutes. What is the gap at the moment? It's a 3.8 second lead to Robert Bataille, and he's on camera at the moment somewhere. I don't know where he is, hopping up to the patio section. Where is Ongaro? Ongaro is coming. Let's switch our attention to the Italian Ongaro. He's now just coming off the patio section, because he now has the advantage of having nothing to lose and everything to gain in this, the Neo 18 final. And if anything has ever justified Phil's decision to make this final an hour long, it is this fantastic cat and mouse tactical battle of supreme driving ability from both these drivers, and the man who you would put your house on to come forward over a long race has done it so far. But has he got in the lead too early? Has he given a chance for Ongaro just to throw caution to the wind, run that Associated at maximum power, and go against the Spaniard? It was all going so well, and I'd say at the moment the lead last time round was 3.6 seconds. I'm kind of visually thinking that actually Ongaro's a tiny bit closer. So Ongaro now is free of the shackles of worrying about throwing the lead away, and is very happy to be able to just take away. Barifalo now slightly blocking battle ahead of us. So let's see what the lead is now. Has it dropped further? Is it more than 3? And the answer to that is no. Ongaro's gained 3/10. So a 3/10 gain for Ongaro. We go back now into another quieter phase. Now don't forget, they both have one pit stop to go. One more chance things go wrong. That wasn't particularly good for Ongaro. It won't cost him too much. It's about a half-second mistake that. But Battle is less than a mistake ahead with 7.5 minutes to go. They're on the same piece of straight there. When we see now Ongaro coming around the corner, they are now on the same piece of dirt, the same piece of clay, the same piece of whatever the surface is. Barifalo will be asked to move out the way for his Italian teammate, or Italian compatriot, sorry, not teammate. He's an X-ray driver, of course. And they come round again. Now, interestingly, Robert just catching it down. The hour final really suiting the Spanish genius. There's a kick in the track. I bet at this point, there's several American drivers who really wish they were here driving this race. I reckon they probably could win, but they're going to have to come against one of the greatest drivers of all time, and someone who certainly will become one of the greatest drivers of all time. So we're on. Ongaro's now out of the pits. Let's go to our leader, which is Robert Bataille. He's bouncing up and down on the main straight at the bottom there. So he now will have to come in the pits the next lap or so. It was a reasonable stop for Ongaro. So now we need to see the final stop for Battle. He will have a nice long lead this lap round. But the fact is that he still has a chance of a problem in his pit stop. He has a chance of a problem of anything else. Now, Battle is, I'll tell you what, Ongaro is flying at the moment. He's really found a bit of pace since the pit stop, and the gap, even with a stop to make, is down to about 7 seconds. In comes Battle. He's fueled up. He's released. And he comes out, and the gap is nothing like what it was. So this is on this last lap. Look, you can see at the back of the S-Works, there is Ongaro, and he's really just gone for it. Look at it, you can see it now, the young Italian. The body language of the car has completely changed. It's, I've been driving within myself to protect the lead for 40 minutes. That's not what I want to do. I want to go for it. I want to become the back-to-back Neo champion. I don't want Robert winning my title. And then they are now both in the same straight again. And we do have just 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Hopping up, there he is, as down onto the ARG goes Battle. Then behind, look at the speed that Ongaro is carrying. Let's run with, let's drop back to Ongaro. It's probably the chasing car, the number 2 machine. He's the one who's going for it. The lead is down to just about 1.9 seconds. The car smokes. He can see where it is. We've been racing now for 55 minutes and there's 1.9 seconds between them. Up the straight goes Ongaro. This stage he'll see the sliding tail of the Mugen of Robert Bataille just ahead of him, flowing it round. Bataille now is probably the man who thinks, I can't throw it away now. There's thousands of people watching this. I don't want to make a fool of myself. And he actually loses a bit of time there on the mud. And it's getting closer. It's getting closer. And look at Ongaro. Ongaro now is coming after the wily old fox, the young hound. Blowing up. As they look now. Actually, this lap looks like it might be a little bit of an advantage to Bataille. We're coming down to the last 5 laps. And running around last time, the gap was 1.9 seconds. It's going to be very, very similar this time as Ongaro looks to see what else he can do. I do realise there are 13 other cars in this race, but frankly, they're not really important, and a couple have retired anyway. And the lap, again, up to 3/10 was gained there by Robert. So what can Ongaro do? As he'll see, as you will see, whenever we go to a slightly wider shot, you'll see Bataille just ahead of him. Good heads-up driving by the driver there, who just pulled over the side. They now come down the roller coaster as into the third part goes Bataille. Then goes Ongaro. And they are as close as they can be in what is absolutely turned out to be one of the classic RC races I've ever seen. When you see someone pull 14 seconds back in 0.5 second chunks, and then the person who's vanquished decides, I'm not having that, I'm going to come back, and they are much, much closer as we now, up to that, they were much, much closer until Ongaro lost his drive, and that's going to put him back. They were going to get very short over 3. There were 4 laps to go. 4 laps to go. The gap drifted back out to 2.6 there, because Ongaro just didn't get the perfect drive going up the hill before the bank corner for the hairpin. Ongaro, that's what he's got to do. A few precious tenths of a second disappeared there on a minor mistake by Robert Bataille going through the second part of the S-Works. They now go down again. The fastest part, well, the most flowing and fastest part of the circuit. They turn left, and again they are just one big jump apart, and one more small mistake. Ongaro flaps down 3. And you look as he comes up the hill, you'll see in the foreground, there is Robert Bataille, his quarry, dropping down to the left-hand side to the ARG, and we are now going to be starting, when they come around again, 3 laps to go. It must be so frustrating to see your chance of victory just a couple of yards ahead of you, and they come across, and definitely again that time for Ongaro. Ongaro's got it down by half a second to 1.7. He's going to have to be perfect. He's going to have to be absolutely unbelievable, because he's not chasing some amateur turning up from a kind of a club meeting. You're challenging a man who's a world and triple European champion, but certainly Ongaro's gaining, and he's not leaving anything in the locker, is he? It's all out there as Ongaro desperately tries to find and make up that 1.7 seconds he has this lap, and I think they have 2 more. I think there's 2.5 laps to go. Battle has actually eased out the lead very slightly in this one. So Ongaro now is probably praying for some help from the traffic that's up ahead. Definitely this lap, it's been a better one for Bataille, and he's now controlling the pace. But Ongaro, very quick in this section. He flies down here, very quick there. And again, the foreshortening effect. He now needs to get a drive up the hill. A couple of marshals take one of those back marker cars out. They turn around. It was 1.7 last time. And it's going to go, I think, slightly out this time. Yeah, by a tenth in the end. The second part of that lap was absolutely superb from David Ongaro, and we are now on the penultimate lap. There are 2 laps to decide who's going to become the Neo 2018 champion. Will it be Robert Bataille, or will it be David Ongaro? I warn you now, they're going to do fireworks at the end, so be prepared to be tremendously shocked. Everyone likes a banger around here, it seems. So at the bottom of the straight now. And it has got closer than it has ever been before. They're both going to be in the same shot, and we have 1.25 laps to go. It is building up to the most amazing crescendo. But look at it, it's not a fact. He's even there. Ongaro right behind, battle with a lap to go. They are almost occupying the same space. I can't even sum this race up. It's too exciting. They are now a bad drive, and Ongaro's going to have a chance to go up the inside. The back marker out the way, and they are neck and neck on the last lap of a 1 hour race. What can Robert do? And up the inside, Ongaro thinking about the inside, hops in. Can he get round? They're going to drive hard up the straight. They're going to come at the end, and they break, and it's blocked up. And now Ongaro looking to go left. He actually landed on him. Gave him a quick shove. They are right together. Who is going to win it? Will it be the Spaniard or the Italian? A fantastic comeback from both of them at various different times. A slight advantage now as they go down the roller coaster for the final time of this 1 hour final. Ongaro all over the back of. And he's got the inside. He's going to get him. It's a beautiful bit of black parking, but now he's got a chance for a 3-corner pass. Slightly eased out, and they're moving up now on the last time on the pavement. And it's up the inside comes Ongaro, but no, he just bounced the wrong way. And this is now 2 corners. This has got to be the perfect chance. And another mistake. Oh, so close. But it's Robert Bataille who will take the win. An absolutely unbelievable race. Fantastic performance. You can only mould that. Ongaro so close as he all goes crazy with the fireworks, but what a fantastic performance. Wow, that was fantastic driving. We saw an absolute classic hours event there. You cannot in any way fault that. Frankly, a little bit overawed by the superb driving. What great performance. Let's just see if we can give you a bit of a rundown. In the end, it was Robert Bataille who won by, well, more than he was by a couple of seconds, but really by 1.5 yards. Second was Ongaro. Third was Boots. Fourth was Savoia. Valanca comes fifth. Figueiredo comes sixth. Oscar Baldo and the rest. We're going to go and have a word with the winner in a second. So I'm just going to have a quick word with them. I'm going to take him out. So we'll have a word with the drivers. It's an absolutely superb performance by Bataille. He's doing a little chat with the Spanish media. He'll then come down and we'll bring him out onto the mud as such to talk to him. But you don't see many races like that in your life where with 4 corners to go of an hour race, it was still very, very, very close. Great celebrations. We bring you out for the interview. We're coming through. So we're going to get Robert in a second. Hopefully the sound is the right colour. He's getting his hugs. Let's go and talk to our winner. He's taking Mika Maroney's congratulations because he is obviously... no, we took the winner, that's right. And here comes Robert Bataille. Fantastic performance. Absolutely one of the greatest races. Robert, I can't tell you how impressed I was. That is one of the greatest performances I've ever seen. The way you hunted him down over half an hour.
Yeah, I know. I mean, at the beginning I have too much side bite and I made 4 or 5 mistakes by myself, like super bad. I was, I think, like 25 seconds to the lead or something, so much. So then it's Ongaro had the engine super rich after each refueling. So I just decided to push 200% just on that minutes where he was rich. Finally got it. In the last lap I was like, oh fuck, no. Not again like dirt, like losing for half a second. So I got it and I'm super.
So yeah, was it just a case of the last couple of laps? Were you tightening up or was he just throwing caution to win? Because suddenly you had that cushion and it went.
Yeah, I mean I was first and I didn't want to go 200%. It was just comfortable and he approached me, he got me. And I said like, now I will close everything just to get first.
So perhaps not your best ever race, but perhaps your best 50 minutes after those first 10 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. The last 30 minutes has been like amazing. Car was awesome. So it just incredible. I'm even tired. So
Right, fantastic. Congratulations, man. Brilliant, brilliant performance. Let's go and have a quick word with our runner-up. Davide, I don't know whether to say congratulations or commiseration because it was a brilliant performance, but just not.
Next time. No, the car was good in all the final. I made a mistake and Robert passed me, but first in the e-buggy and second in nitro is okay, perfect.
When Ronner Falk broke down, you had a 15-second lead over Robert. Did you know he was coming? Could you feel it, or were you being told?
Yeah, I tried to stay as possible as calm, but Robert was so fast and it's okay, no problem.
One thing we know, your car seemed to run very rich towards the end, a lot of smoke. Why was that?
For me, this speed is okay, so we tried this setup in the final and it was good.
Congratulations, the best runner-up I've ever seen. Thank you, well done. Thank you, Davide. So that is a couple of fantastic drivers. I don't want to say, absolutely awesome race. I hope you all enjoyed that hour. We will. I'll come back up and we'll say goodbye properly. But wow. In fact, wow is all I can say.